Girl gave her only blanket to a freezing biker. What 70 Hells Angels did next shocked everyone. It was a bitter winter evening in Flagstaff, Arizona. Snow dusted the pines, and the wind howled like a lonely wolf down the empty highway. Marcus Raven Callahan, a towering, leather-clad member of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, was stranded on the shoulder of Route 66. His bike had sputtered out, his phone was dead, and the temperature kept dropping. With only a thin jacket and no shelter, he shivered violently, wondering if help would come before frostbite set in. Then, out of the darkness, came a flicker of light and kindness. 7-year-old Sarah Mitchell, bundled in a pink snowsuit, stepped cautiously toward him, clutching her favorite blanket, the one with stars and moons stitched along the edges. It was her only source of warmth that night, the one she'd slept with since she was 3. Without a word, without hesitation, she walked up to the grizzled biker and wrapped the blanket around his shoulders. "I saw you shaking," she whispered. "You looked cold." Marcus froze, not from the weather, but from emotion. In his decades on the road, he'd been met with fear, suspicion, even hostility. People crossed the street when they saw his colors. But this child? She saw him, not the tattoos, not the patch, just a man in need. Tears welled in his eyes as he thanked her. Sarah simply smiled, turned, and ran back to her parents' car, leaving behind more than fabric. She'd left behind hope. Back at the clubhouse, Marcus couldn't stop talking about her. He told Hammer, the chapter president, about the little girl who gave everything she had to a stranger society taught her to fear. Hammer listened quietly, then slammed his fist on the table. "We're doing something for her," he declared, "not because we owe her, but because the world needs to know that compassion changes lives and that bikers have hearts too." Within days, the entire Flagstaff chapter, 70 strong, mobilized. These weren't just riders, they were welders, carpenters, electricians, plumbers, veterans, fathers. Men who'd built lives with their hands now wanted to build something beautiful for Sarah. They approached Tom and Jennifer Mitchell with humility, explaining their plan. They wanted to repair their aging home, free of charge. No cameras, no fanfare, just service. The Mitchells, stunned but moved, agreed. On a crisp Saturday morning, the quiet suburban street erupted with the roar of 73 Harleys. Neighbors peeked through blinds, some wary, others curious. But what unfolded next rewrote every assumption. The Hells Angels got to work. Roofs were patched, leaky pipes fixed, a broken porch railing replaced, wiring updated, windows sealed against the cold. One biker painted Sarah's bedroom ceiling with glow-in-the-dark constellations, so she never feels alone at night, he said gruffly. Another built a custom bookshelf shaped like a motorcycle. While the men worked, Sarah watched in awe, handing out hot cocoa and cookies, her small voice asking questions about engines and road trips. The toughest bikers softened instantly, kneeling to answer her with gentle smiles. But the biggest surprise came at sunset. As the last nail was hammered and the final tool packed away, Hammer stepped forward holding an envelope. Inside was a check for $22,000, donated not just by the Flagstaff chapter, but by Hells Angels chapters across the country who'd heard Sarah's story. "This is for your future, kid," Hammer said, his voice thick. "College, dreams, whatever you want to be, because today you reminded us all what really matters." Sarah, tears streaming down her cheeks, stepped forward and hugged him, a tiny figure against his massive frame. Then she turned to the crowd and spoke words that silenced everyone. "People shouldn't judge others by how they look. My mom says kindness is the truest kind of bravery. And you guys, you're brave." The moment went viral. Local news covered it. National outlets picked it up. For once, the Hells Angels weren't portrayed as outlaws, but as guardians of grace, men who honored loyalty, respect, and above all, gratitude. Before they left, the club presented Sarah with a custom-made vest, black leather, soft as silk, embroidered with silver wings and the words, "Honorary Angel, Sarah Mitchell." On the back, instead of the usual death's head, was a glowing star. And in the Flagstaff clubhouse, a new plaque now hangs beside the American flag. It reads, "Character is not who you are when people are watching. It's who you are when no one is." Today, Sarah keeps her blanket folded neatly on her bed, no longer just a piece of cloth, but a symbol, a reminder that one act of pure, selfless love can ripple across lives, shatter stereotypes, and ignite change in the most unexpected places. And Marcus? He still rides, but now, tucked inside his jacket, is a small photo of Sarah smiling in her new vest. She saved me that night, not from the cold, but from believing the world had gone numb. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe, because in a world that often focuses on division, stories like Sarah's remind us that humanity still wins when we choose kindness over judgment. Tell us in the comments, where are you watching from, and have you ever been surprised by someone's hidden goodness? Let's keep spreading light, one act of courage at a time. Thanks for watching.